Hey, what is up, fellow Raiders? This is Vulcan Dan, Raid Shadow Legends video here, and we have the 6 new Fragment champions from Doom Tower Secret Rooms. This will be 3 new epics and 3 new legendary champions. Of course, the epics are for completing Doom Tower Secret Rooms in normal, and the 3 legendaries are for completing Secret Rooms in Doom Tower Hard. And these will be Epic Champions number 7, 8, and 9 because we've had 6 previously. These will also be Legendary Champions number 7, 8, and 9 for Doom Tower Hard. Now, before we get to the champions, I have a problem with this kind of system for Doom Tower Secret Room champions. It is fun to get these sort of free champions as long as you finish the secret rooms. But yeah, they need to be better every single time. The later you get in these Doom Tower secret rooms, the better these champions should be. Now, at the beginning, we've had Archmage Helmet, we have Dark Kale, we have Rian the Conjurer, we have Akoth the Seared. These are all epic champions. The first 4 from Doom Tower normal secret rooms, those are pretty good. And of course, you will get those early on in your account. They will really help out a lot. But as it looks like the later epic champions, like the one after Dark Kill, I think it was Gwyneth, and then we had Taya, and then we will have the next set of 3 here. I've already looked at their kit and they don't look that impressive to me, which is the opposite of what it should be. Now, you will get these way later than Archmage Helmet, than Dark Kale. Those are great champions in the early to mid game. You should get these champions in the late game now. You've had a couple of legendaries. You're probably not using a lot of epics. So these epics have to be top tier, like Madame Ceres level, for them to be usable, or else they'll simply be chickens, right? By the time you'll get to Epic Champion 7, 8, and 9, you've already completed, a lot of Doom Tower secret rooms. You're probably already finishing Doom Tower Hard. So these champions right here should be top tier, but they're not, which is quite disappointing. Artwork is really good. Really love the artwork here. So it's just a shame if you put excellent artwork, excellent design, character design, and then their kit is so underwhelming, they'll just stay in your vault. So yeah, this is just a rant. I hope Plarium realizes this and fixes this problem, or maybe change the system up a little bit. If you don't want to give us top tier epics and legendaries for these secret rooms, then maybe give us some other form of reward, because these will just end up in the vault. But yeah, let's get to the first one. This is for the first epic champion. We have ZXchi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Looks like it's a new Lizardman champion. A1 attacks one enemy, 15% chance of placing an extra hit. Reminds me of Fushan. So yeah. A2, another single target, will ignore shield and block damage, places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. So most likely this might be an attack type champion, and that A2 might hit hard, but both A1 and A2 are single target. And his or her A3 is places increased crit damage and increased attack on this champion for 3 turns, then grants an extra turn. So of course, do the A3 first, then the A2. Hard hitting A2, sort of like Genbo with that A3 and then straight into the A2. But Genbo hits with an AoE hit in his A2. This one is just a single target A2. It has to hit pretty hard for this to be worth it. But still, it's single target. So not that impressive. Has a passive right here. Whenever this champion kills an enemy, decrease the cooldown of the Crownbreaker skill, which is the A2, by 1 turn. That's fine. I don't see this champion being used a lot, especially being the 7th epic in the secret room for normal Doom Tower. Yeah, just going to stay in the vault. I do really love the artwork though. But yeah, next champion, Leeberga. Not sure what this is. Looks like an orc, but could be undead. Could be, yeah. I'm not really sure. But I'm betting that it could be an orc champion. A1 attacks one enemy, 50% chance of placing poisons. A2 attacks one enemy, 75% chance of placing 2 poisons and a poison sensitivity. So both again single target. Immediately what comes to mind is Clan Boss. Can be used for Dragon, but of course that's for the Dragon Boss. For the waves, she's not going to do much work there with those single target hits. A3 places increased defense and increased attack on all allies for 2 turns. That's a very long cooldown though, 6 turn. Hopefully we can reduce that to 4 turn, but still 4 turn for those 2 buffs. It's okay, not really that impressive. And again, just single target hits. Has a passive when attack has a 50% chance of increasing the duration of all poison on attacker by 1 turn. So A1, A2, A4, which is the passive, and A3, which with that whole team buff of increased defense and increased attack, this screams clan boss champion. But again, by the time you pull this champion from shards, I mean from fragments, you're most likely going to get you most likely already have a better poisoner than this champion right here. Maybe you're using a Draco, using or an occult brawler. Any other poisoner in this game is probably better than this champion right here. She's probably I don't know, mid to low tier poisoner. Quite disappointing for a champion that you get quite late in the game. If you do get her early, then she can be good. But late game, not really an exciting champion. But yeah, third epic, we have Crack Hearth. Reminds me of Ursaga. Not really sure what faction this is from though. A1 attacks one enemy, 30% chance of removing one random debuff from a random ally. Will not remove a debuff from this champion, alright? A2 attacks one enemy, places a revive undead on this champion for 2 turns. That's on a 5-turn cooldown. If we can get that cooldown to a 3-turn, and having a revive undead for 2 turns can be a very good A2, especially if you put her in a reflex set, I guess, to reduce that cooldown even further, so she can potentially have almost permanent revive on death. Can be quite cool there. A3 places strengthen and a shield buff equal to this champion's max HP on all allies for 2 turns. Very long cooldown though, 7 turn. If it's a shorter cooldown for shield can be useful for the what's that, Scarab boss. But we do have other champions such as Lodric Falconheart, 2-turn shield on a 2-turn cooldown. Much better than this 2-turn shield on a 7-turn cooldown. Probably can be booked down to a 5, maybe a 4, but still nowhere near that 2-turn shield with 2-turn cooldown that Lodric Falconheart brings. So again, and I don't think you'll have a problem with the Scarab boss at this point, so she might not even be used there. She has a nice passive and increases the value of all shield buffs on all allies by 15% while this champion is alive. So out of the 3 epics, she has the most potential because of that unique passive. Might work well with another shield champion like Brogni. If you bring her in arena with a shield set, she can already make use of that nice passive with an even bigger shield. So she does have some potential here, but not really a very exciting champion. And again, A1 and A2 are both single target hits. So again, this late in the game, getting these 3 new epics, they should be more impactful than this one because they will be, just simply be chicken. All right, next up are the legendaries. We have Grunger here, of course, looking like a nice dwarf legendary. A1 attacks an enemy twice. Each hit has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of HP burn debuffs by 1 turn. Okay, that's a decent A1. A2, again, a double hitter, single target. First hit, chance to remove block debuffs. Second hit, chance to remove any a random buff except block debuff. Decent A2, again, it's just a single target, multi-hitter though. A3 is an AoE hit that places HP burn for 2 turns. Also fills this champion turn meter by 5% for every HP burn the enemy team had before this attack. To take advantage of that, you need someone else to place HP burn before this guy, which is kind of weird to have 2 HP burn champions in the same team. Or make him really fast so that he gets back to his A3 and the HP burn is still up on the enemy champions. Or you put him in reflex set so that the cooldown becomes a lot shorter and he can go back to his A3 again. Or he will have to use his A1 a lot to increase the duration of HP burn debuffs by 1 turn, but that's only a single target. So it's very difficult to take advantage of that second part of that skill. But AoE HP burn, that's okay. Has a passive, and Actually, the best part of his kit is his passive. This champion will not receive any damage from HP burn. Instead, HP burns will heal this champion by 5% max HP each time the debuff activates. That's pretty good right there. And whenever an enemy attempts to place a freeze on this champion, instantly removes it and places it on the attacker. Reminds us of Tormin, so might be potentially you might see him in some arena teams to face against Tormin. He will place the freeze on Tormin himself and places an HP burn debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. The HP burn debuff cannot be resisted. Okay. So yeah, the best thing about his kit is the passive. If you use him in arena, he can prevent that freeze from landing on him, and then he will do his AoE HP burn, and then he will do his A2 double hitter that has a chance to remove that block debuff and another buff. It's okay. Again, at this point, 7th legendary from the Doom Tower Hard. He will be good if you pull him early, but at this point you're most likely going to get him very late in the game. You most likely have other legendary champions that do AoE HP burn, maybe even some epics that do the same thing. So unless we find some way to make use of his cool passive, he can be of some use, but other than that, not really a great legendary. So that's what I'm saying. We need to be excited for these to do well in Doom Tower, because these legendaries just end up becoming chickens for everyone. Next one looks really cool. Reminds me of Tyrell, with those double mace. Chromax Moonblood, also a legendary champion. A1 Lunar Lance, attacks one enemy, 60% chance of placing decreased attack for two turns. 60%, that's actually a very high chance. Don't know if we can even make that even higher with books. And A2 attacks one enemy, 75% chance of placing block buffs for 2 turns. Also fills this champion's turn meter by 30%. That's okay. Would really love to have that as an AoE move and remove that second part of fills this champion's turn meter by 30%. Just a flat out AoE block buffs would be a lot better. A3 attacks all enemies, places provoke for 1 turn and decrease accuracy for 2 turns. That's okay. Can be used for arena, can be used for Hydra, of course, not the provoke, but the decreased accuracy. But again, we have an epic champion that does a similar thing. We have Geomancer that has an AoE A1 that places decreased accuracy. Of course, it's at a much lower chance, but still, there are other options for AoE decrease accuracy. And the block buffs, which is also great for Hydra, but again, this is only single target. Has a passive when attack has a 35% chance of placing Hex on the attacker for 1 turn after each hit. So yeah, that will be useful for Hydra as well. This champion does not work with Hex in his other skills, but you might want to bring another champion that will take advantage of Hex. Someone like a Cleopteryx, a Thea the Tomb Angel. But yeah, this champion is okay. The best part of his kit might be the passive and the A3. But again, not an exciting champion to get if you're at this stage in Doom Tower Hard. And the last one, Jinro the Stork, looks like a Shadowkin legendary. A1 attacks one enemy, 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target skills by 2 turns at random. That's okay. A2 attacks one enemy, places a stun for 2 turns, will ignore block debuffs and block damage buffs. And A3 places increased defense on this champion for 3 turns and counterattack for 2 turns. Okay, again, no AoE attack here. A1 and A2 are both single target. And looks like, again, the best part of his kit is the passive, which seems to be the trend here. They're going for cooler passives, which is okay. But the rest of their kit, A1, A2, A3, has to be, they can't be that bad. But yeah, his passive increases this champion's defense each time they counterattack. Defense resets every time this champion gets a turn. that's fine. Reminds me of the dwarf Rockbreaker that gets a boost in defense every time they use their A1. Also, when attacking, converts this champion resistance into additional accuracy, so you can actually just pump up his resistance and not worry about his accuracy. Put him in a resistance banner, okay? And at the end of this champion's turn, places a provoke for 1 turn on all enemies under increased attack. Might be useful for arena, for a go second champion. But again, the provoke will not land until this champion gets a turn. And by the time this champion gets a turn, the enemy will already most likely have done all of their moves, all their attack. They probably did their A3 or their A2. So unless this guy can withstand that barrage from arena, he's not going to be able to have a chance to do that provoke. But yeah, having that counterattack on his A3 is great. I would really love to have him have a passive that he will immediately have counterattack at the beginning of the round without him needing to have a turn to make him a lot better as an arena champion. A2 with that stun and ignore block debuff and block damage is okay. Again, single target. And so yeah, so A1, A2, A3, and the passive, all of his kit just looks to me is all about the arena. But I don't think he's going to be that impactful. I don't think we will be seeing him in any high level platinum or in gold tag arena. He might be cool for early game, but again, you're not going to get him in early game. You're going to get him very late. So this is why Plarium, please stop putting out these champions very late. You have to fix this Doom Tower secret room stuff and make the rewards a lot better, because these look like 6 chickens. Yeah. I don't really see much use for these champions, especially at this late stage for players. If you're a new player and you're watching this, you're not going to get these champions early on. You're going to get the first 6 first, and then these 3 after you get the first 6 epics, and then the first 6 legendaries from Doom Tower Normal and Doom Tower Hard. So yeah, decent champions for early game, but you're not going to get them in the early game. So that's what's weird to me. But yeah, at least they look cool. Thank you guys for watching. That's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one.